Hello, everybody. My YouTube video with Bob Wells just dropped, and I filmed this December 12th of 2023. So it is now what day is it? March 22nd. And I have my laptop. I'm gonna do a reaction video of me watching my video with Bob Wells. As you can tell, I'm so unbelievably excited about this. I'm like shaking and I could cry. I have not seen it yet. I'm just putting it in. Oh my god, there it is! Okay, doing this video with Bob Wells, I've been keeping it a secret. Meeting Bob Wells and this experience actually changed my entire life, and you will see why here soon. You won't see why exactly in this video, but it's coming. And I love Bob. He's done so much for my life. I'll have to do a video on my story, and how I got into van life and what Bob means to me. And it was just so special to formally meet him. I've met him several times, but it was, at RTR and stuff. So, anywho, without further ado, okay, I want you to be able to see my reaction with this laptop. Okay, wow, here we go.
I made this little closet area with these bungees digging through containers to find my clothes was something I didn't really want to do. And so it's nice. It's still all jumbled, but I can kind of see what clothes I got and be able to pull them out.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. I am having a personal special treat today. I am here with Lindra. Hi, Lindra. Lindra is from Alaska.
Yes.
Born and raised in Alaska. And so as soon as we got together, it was...
Okay, first of all, my bangs, let's just ignore my bangs in this video. I had freshly cut them myself and they were not giving, so let's just get past that moment.
Old times and places like that and who we know, and it was... I could just talk about that the whole time. I don't think you want to hear it. So we'll focus in on you and your story. So you were born and raised in Alaska.
Yes.
But have you moved to the lower 48?
Technically not. I still am an Alaska resident. I spend about 6 months in Alaska in the summer, and I do my work season, and then I leave around September, and then I travel for the winter.
Mm-hmm. So you're a true snowbird.
Yes.
Deep snow in the winter, but you're here instead.
Yes, very deep snow.
And
so the little jacket is to cover my license plate. Also, I can't believe that I'm watching this right now, and I have formed a friendship with Bob now, and turns out we have a lot in common, which is just so crazy to think about. But anywho, okay, let's continue.
But fly back during the summer when it's just fantastic.
Yes, I have 2 vans now. I used to drive back and forth, but the past 2 years I got a little Chevy G20 89 van, and
the van is 1989. I didn't specify that. Also, my van is so dirty. Wow.
I fly in between them, and it's a lot more sustainable.
Right. Yeah, that has always been my dream life.
Yeah.
Summers in Alaska, winters down here.
Yes, it's the best life, I think.
I agree 100%. One of the most beautiful places in the world in the summer.
Yeah. Yes, it's pretty in the winter for sure, but you gotta like winter sports.
So you're young, And how are you supporting yourself?
So I work festivals. I am a face painter, face and body painter, and that's where probably 80 to 90% of my income comes from. And I do a festival in Alaska every weekend for 6 months. And so I'm just traveling all over the place. I have my own little booth, my own business, and
then the van is perfect.
yeah,
for that.
and it's perfect. And that's kind of how I got into the van. Was I was looking for vans because I was doing my festivals in a Honda CRV. It was a little small.
A little small.
Yeah, and so I was like, I think I need a van to transport my equipment. And then I realized that people lived in vehicles through looking for a van, and became obsessed with it for like 2 years and looked for this most perfect van. I wanted this exact one. And yeah, that's kind of how it all started, was through the festival. I've been traveling full time in the van snowboarding for 6 years.
Wow. And then when you go home, you have family, but you're still in the van.
Yeah, I'm still in the van full time. I prefer it that way. I love this life. And I see my family and I hang out and sometimes sleep in their driveway.
Well, would you mind showing us your van and your home of 6 years?
It is a 15-passenger van, so it is 12 feet from the back of the driver's seat to the rear doors.
Seeing myself in my own van with these jacked up bangs, I'm like, I look so smooshed in this van. Oh my god.
Doors, which is pretty long.
It's very long.
And it's nice though, because I have this extra little bit of area, and I'm super happy with it. It drives great.
Is this the way you bought it, or did you build it?
I built it myself. It came with 4 rows of 3-person seats, so there was quite a few benches back here and the headliner and everything like that. I tore all of that out and gained quite a bit of room in here. There was passenger rails on the floor that were 3 inches tall, and I decided to grind those out. Some people don't, but 3 inches of room is kind of a lot in this small space. So I built it all out. I built it in 33 days, and it was every day, all day, to get it all done. And I had a pretty strict deadline. There was a pretty big storm coming down the Alcan the first time I left, and there was a...
And for clarification, if you don't know what the Alcan is, it's the Alaska-Canada Highway. And it starts after Prince George in British Columbia, and then it goes all the way to Alaska.
3-day window where it was going to be a high of 7 degrees. So I was like, I got to get it done to make that little window to get down. Yeah, I don't want anything to, that's super complicated to fix. So I have my little sink right here. A sink was really important to me. When I'm doing festivals and face painting, I have like sponges, and sometimes I don't have access to wash those, so I needed a place to be able to kind of wash paint out. And it is with a foot pump. So I like the foot pump. This is actually a little bit of a table.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
What a clever idea.
It can come up, and that little stick just kind of fits in right there. I keep all my water and the pump right here. I love the sink. That's definitely a priority for me. I have this little area with all of my just kitchen stuff. I wanted it to be pretty accessible, and this was a little bit...
Also, like, I know these flies in this... I know the flies. The flies are really gross. But I was just at a hot spring 2 days before, and my van filled with flies. So I swear I'm not that gross, but that is the reality of van life. I don't have a screen on my doors, and flies are something that I have to live with. And right now, blessed. Do not have any flies in the van currently, but sometimes I have many.
A little bit easier to build than if I were to do a drawer. Yeah, and I have all my food storage in here. I have little locks, but You know, the pile method in the drawers or in the cabinets don't bother me too much. This is the front seat that I have. I really like the sheepskin. I just kind of wanted it to feel a little bit more homey in here. So I have 200 watts of solar, and I have a 100 amp hour lithium battery. I waited to install all of that, so I had no
About the sheepskin, people, it's right here. People ask me all the time how I maintain it. I brush it with a, I brush it with this brush, and it works great. But it's so funny to see in this video because it was super fluffy because I was like, I'm doing an interview with Bob. I have to like clean my van and so it looked really good. And right now it looks so gross. So it's always so funny when I see my van clean and I'm like, oh my God, work. And then I'm like, ew, what's going on in here right now?
Electricity at all for a year until I could afford to buy and install those things. And it works great for me. I love that amount of solar. It serves my needs. I have a laptop and the refrigerator, and I'm never out of power. I do hang out in really sunny places. This is brand new.
So I will preface, at that period of time, I never had an issue with power after 5 years. But what ended up happening is if you see in one of my previous videos, I got a 200 watt portable panel, and that was because I got Starlink because of many cool business opportunities that are happening, and my diesel heater. So it got really cold in Quartzsite, and I was using my diesel heater a lot during January, February, and it was also rainy, and it's rainy right now. And with those extra added things, I had to get an extra panel, but with just the fridge and charging my laptop, the 200 watts was completely fine.
Brand new. I had no heat for the 6 years, but I just installed a diesel heater.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely love it. I waited until I could afford the Robusto. The reliability was pretty important to me.
Yeah.
I love that, and it's made my life so much better. It is really expensive, but you know, that was one thing that I was willing to be cold and wait until I could afford that one. And it's German engineering, and I did actually have an issue with it when I installed it. The wiring harness was not going inside of the hole and seating properly. And I just couldn't figure it out, and I was getting codes and it wasn't working. And Webasto has great customer service. And I called them up and they walked me through everything. Turns out I just had to put some Vaseline on the gasket. And that mattered to me too. If something does go wrong, I want to talk to a person to help me figure it out. I have a nice big bed. That was pretty important to me as well. I use it as my main furniture, so it was pretty important that I had a little bit of room, as well as I like paint on here. I do art projects and stuff like that. I wanted to have the bed low enough to where I could sit comfortably on it and not like hit my head too much, but I wanted some extra storage. So this is a nice little bump out.
This is so weird to see me sit on my bed. I have never like watched myself move around in my van before. Like I have done a tour with Elsa Ray and Baron, and I've done a tour with Adventure Van Man, and those three people are very special to me. But I wasn't like moving around in my van as much in those videos, and those were also like several years ago. And if you want to see a compare and contrast, this is good. So this is me now. This is me like 2-3 months ago. And if you want to see me fresh 30 days on the road from 6 years ago, go to Elsa Ray and Baron, type in Alaska Body Painter Elsa Ray Baron on YouTube, and watch that video and see how much I have changed. I was 22 in Elsa's video, and I'm 28 now. And so a lot has changed. I look a lot different. I'm older, I'm more mature. Shelby was like so brand new and fresh looking in Elsa's video, and she's a little shabby now, but I love her, and I've been living in this tiny space for 6 years, so it looks different. But anywho, if you want a little compare and contrast, do that.
And I can use this table for projects or setting stuff up here. My bookcase is kind of new. I used to use that as my seat for in the middle of the living area, but I recently got a composting toilet, and so now I use that as a seat instead of the little bookshelf. I made this little closet area with these bungees. I really like this. Digging through like containers to find my clothes was something I didn't really want to do long term. And so it's nice. It's still all jumbled, but I can kind of see what clothes I got and be able to pull them out. And I have these little touch lights that are nice if I'm doing something on this. I have a max.
Okay, story on those lights. Those lights, I love my lights. I waited for 3 years to find those lights. I had just like battery puck lights screwed to the ceiling for 3 years, and I was like, I want wired touch dimmable lights, and I will wait until I find them. And then if you guys know Enjoy the Journey Today, he's got a great platform and channel. He had these lights, and I was like, those are the most incredible thing I've ever seen, and I want those, so I ordered them and wired them in. But I waited a long time for those lights, and it's a beautiful warm light. I just beep 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 touch them. It's great.
Air fan. I installed this before I ever got solar because I knew I eventually was going to get it when I was able to financially do it. And so I had this fan, but it wasn't hooked up for about a year. This is my new composting toilet. It is the Trelino. It is a German brand. I didn't have a toilet for 6 years. I just kind of did a jug and whatever normal bag I could find. But this is really nice. It has a urine diverter in it and a solids container.
I was so nervous to show this toilet. I like severely deep cleaned it the morning of, but I was just like, oh my god, Bob is gonna look in my toilet!
And this lid is pretty nice. It's wood and it has magnets, keeps the smell out. There isn't a whole lot of smell because of the separation that the toilet does. It serves its purpose. It is pretty much a glorified bucket.
But the separation is a big deal.
Yeah, the separation is really nice. And I actually got this toilet because I did the state fair this year, and I either had to rent a porta potty, which was going to be like $250, or I was like, I could just bite the bullet and have an actual toilet. So I did that. It's not necessary by any means. You can totally make do without one, but it's convenient.
Oh my god. Here's an ad. Okay, first of all, I love my toilet, but I will say, you 1000% do not need one. Like, I wholeheartedly believe you do not need one. This was $450. And I have a hard time, like, how many times do I have to poop in it to make it worth, like, putting a monetary value on my waste bothers me. Especially without having one for 6 years. So, yeah, it's, do you need one? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You do not need one. So do not feel bad if you don't have one. You can also just make your own. So...
And so if people want to know more about you, do you have social media they can contact you?
Yes, I am Practical Paradise on all platforms, including YouTube. And then I have a website where I have all of my artwork and some paintings that I've done and portfolios. That's practicalparadiseart.com. And if you're interested in stickers, I have an Etsy, and that's Van Life Stickers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got plenty of stickers on board.
Yeah.
You folks will see some.
I feel like it fits with the minimalist lifestyle pretty well. Like, you know, you can put this little piece of art on something you already own. And I have, you know, my longboard and yoga mat. I have a bunch of canvases for some paintings. And I have all of my art stuff kind of organized, that's easy to get to. And all my stickers are back here that I can mail out to people. And it's, you know, everything's kind of perfectly Tetrised in there.
Very easy to get out.
Yeah, I really, you know, living on the road full time, moving and switching things around all the time can get kind of frustrating after a while. And so I want to just as clear and as easy as I can have it.
And so for showers, how are you showering?
For showers, I go to laundromats or, you know, just public shower spaces. To do just like normal washing up, I do sponge baths and mason jar of water and a little basin and just kind of get what I need to get. I find that works really well for me.
Yeah.
I keep extra diesel up on the top of the roof rack because this tank is on the smaller side.
Yes.
And it ended up working perfectly having 2 tanks up there. So whenever that one's low and I'm boondocking somewhere far away, I can just refill it and it works pretty well. It is a Yakima box. I've had that one for a super long time. I used to have it on my CRV when I was camping out of that. And up there,
I am squinting so much because it was so bright outside. And I didn't want to wear sunglasses, you know. I think seeing your eyes and emoting and stuff is important. But I was like, it was really hard to see. And Bob was in front of me, which was, I had to face right in the sun. So that's why my eyeballs are a little like...
equipment and mechanical tools. I do all my own maintenance on my van. And so I have jacks and jack stands and an air compressor and lots of different tools to service the van. You know, I like to travel for long periods of time. And so anytime I can save money, I'd like to. And I had a couple crazy experiences where mechanics quoted me thousands of dollars to do maintenance on the van, and I was just like, that seems a little steep. So I just kind of taught myself as I went along, and you know, I figured no one cares about my van more than I do, so I can make sure that all the bolts are properly torqued and that everything is done with a lot of care that I feel like sometimes is lacking.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for showing us your van and your life. I can't tell you how much I admire you. And, you know, it took a lot of courage to do all this. And you seem to have done it super, super, super well.
Thank you. That really means a lot. I've looked up to you and everything that you've done for the nomad community. And your influence has impacted my life in many, many ways. And, yeah, I really appreciate that. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So tell us again how people can contact you.
Yes, so I am Practical Paradise. Paradise is my last name on all social media platforms, including YouTube. And I have a website, Practical Paradise Art, for all of my artwork. And if you're interested in hiring me for any artistic commissions. And then Van Life Stickers on Etsy.
And that's the name, Van Life Stickers.
Yes.
Well, Linda, thank you so much for sharing your life with us. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was very good to reminisce about Alaska to someone who knows it so well.
Yes, for sure.
So, folks, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Oh my God! I just was looking at myself on Bob's channel and hearing Bob's outro. Eee! Oh my gosh, that was so cool and special. 10,000 people have seen it already! Like it. Oh my God. I need to check out my links, make sure that they're all good. Let's chat for a minute. wow, that was so special and so just like thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for this opportunity. Thank you for sharing your life and your experiences with me. We ended up going to lunch after this and after the interview, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for this opportunity. And I can't believe I just watched that. Oh my God, I can't believe it. My heart feels so happy. And I just really love my life. And as I, you know, as I said in the video, I think that this is the best life for me. And I am in love with my life right now, and I wasn't for my whole life. The past 6 years have been the best 6 years of my life. They've been the most challenging as well, but I love the challenge that this life brings, and I'm just so grateful for what this life has brought to me. And RTR was the first place that I went since hitting the road. When I was building this van, nobody knew what I was doing. They were like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, they're like, where are you gonna go? And I was like, I'm gonna go to RTR. And they said, well, what's that? And I was like, it's a gathering of people that are also doing this. And they're like, well, where is it? And I was like, I don't know. It's in a place called Quartzsite. I don't know where it is. I've never been there. I'd never been to Arizona. I had never really been outside of the state for longer than a few weeks at that time. I had lived on a sailboat in San Diego for several months before I built out my van, and that was a huge motivator to hit the road when I did. But I had never lived outside of Alaska. And when I went down into the sailboat, I had never been outside of Alaska in my entire life for longer than 3 weeks. And the first place I went was RTR, and I met absolutely best friends for life there. And my life has completely changed from going to that very first RTR in January of 2018. And so thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much, Bob, for filming and interviewing me. I am so grateful for that entire experience. And look out for a future video of my story and giving more information about me. I hope you enjoyed this reaction video, and I will see you in the next one.